Tertiary Delight, Season 1, Episode 3. I am Daniel Andrew Boyd, and this is my good buddy and co-host Priyanka Das. Today we're going to be eavesdropping on Cody and Jacob.
These two have gone the kind of adventures that you can only go on if you vacation with each other's families and if you're childhood friends. Also, they have been patient zero for all of their friends getting into Dungeons & Dragons and board games.
This is Tertiary Delight,
a
and
podcast.
it's a podcast where two best friends
talk
to you about their friendship.
Best friendship.
And it's basically, we
It's like
lead
we're
them through
eavesdropping
a
on them.
loosely guided conversation.
Interview.
So, this is my friend and co-host, Priyanka Das, and luckily, she was at the very first one of these, because it was a different set of friends who had come up with this in the first place, and then she was available to roll with it and finish out the project with doing the rest of them.
Yeah, that is true. I'm Priyanka. This is my very good friend, Daniel Andrew Boyd. I call him Dan, and the first time, as he mentioned, we were just hanging out. I didn't know that you were even recording a podcast or that this was supposed to be a podcast. And I ended up, meeting some really interesting people. And I wanted to be a part of this, but I wasn't going to steal the co-host spot or anything or try to go after it. And luckily, a year later, Dan decided to restart this, and I expressed my interest, and now here we are. Okay.
This is my friend Jake Kuntz. Goes by Jacob, and we've been friends since middle school. Solidified mostly in high school, and ever since grew up in the suburbs, the exciting suburbs of Prospect, Arlington Heights.
Yeah.
And, we're now hanging out here downtown Chicago.
And I'm Jake. I think that might be the third time Cody has ever called me Jake. We go back to the days where I went by Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little surprised that I got the introduction as Jake there. But yeah, back in middle school days, I think 7th grade.
Okay, so do you guys remember the first time you met?
Stavropoulos' class.
Yeah, we had a couple of classes together, and we're both kind of like the smart kids that like didn't care and sat in back and just like made snide comments to one another. So we realized that we're kind of doing the same thing there, and I guess we were mostly just like kind of like class friends. I feel like it wasn't until like high school that we really started like hanging out.
I disagree. I'm
During
pretty
8th
sure.
grade?
I distinctly remember after school or after Stavropoulos' class, we had been talking about HeroClix.
Oh yeah. That's fun.
Yeah, and that was like, that sounds cool. I want to try that.
That was like a tabletop miniatures game that we played.
Yeah.
Back then, that was
Real
like,
into that for a while.
Yes, it's true.
Did you finish it out? Did you make it through all the quests? Do you remember?
It's more of a build an army versus build an army.
Yeah, it's like a skirmish thing.
Fight to the death.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like a different battle every time you play. It's like you build the map with a bunch of different like hex tiles, and then there's a bunch of different figures that you.
Yeah, it wasn't like Dungeons and Dragons. We weren't that cool yet.
No, yeah, we didn't achieve that level of nerddom until high school.
Was there ever a moment then that you guys realized that you were best friends?
I don't know, it kind of just grew organically. We were just hanging out a lot, talking a lot. had a lot of shared interests.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, if I had to name one, probably gaming.
Yeah, just like we were into the same like video games, like Nintendo stuff, computer games, and so yeah, it was just cool to like, you know, oh, have you played this game? Oh yeah, I have, and like we just like know exactly what we're talking about and just can get right into the details of whatever it is, and so yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, there was also the gaming beyond video too, like
tabletop
HeroClix
stuff.
you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, board games, various like tabletop miniature games.
Later, we got into the black arts of D&D.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons.
And that was kind of me and you driving that and getting the group of us into it.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is kind of an interesting thing about D&D is that there has to be people who are the most excited to cajole other people into it and like at least get other people over the hump of it being something they've never done before.
We were all behind the hump to start out with. We had no idea what we were doing.
Yeah.
How'd you find out about it?
I had known about it for several years.
Would like when I'm at like Barnes and Noble, I would be like checking out the like rule books for like these games that I didn't play just because they had like really sweet like monster pictures in them, and like so I would always just like be looking through like the monster manuals, and I'd be like seeing these like stat blocks of like all of their like skills and feats and stuff, and I'd just be like, well, I don't know what crazy complicated game this is for, but it's got some sweet monsters in it. And so eventually we learned how to comprehend those stat blocks, and got a couple books of our own and just started winging it. We played very wrong for the first couple times we played, but still managed to have a lot of fun and just got better and better at it. Got a bunch of our friends into it. Well, not a bunch for us.
I would call it a bunch.
Yeah, I guess by the end of it, yeah, we did.
We were kind of patient zero for at least like a dozen people.
That's true.
And then between us going and playing like our separate games, like I got all of the frat people into it.
True. Yeah, it was a hobby that we were both very much into that continued well into college years, and yeah, like we're still doing it today. I had a freaking session last night where I was a player, but yeah, it wasn't so much one moment that occurred, but we had a couple of noteworthy adventures that were just unique trials and tribulations for us.
Oh yeah, I mean, we had a thing going for a solid couple of years where we could just not get anywhere without incident.
Yeah,
there was always something that happened.
Yeah. Okay. Whenever we would have like big road trip plans, we would have some random unforeseen stupidity occur to us.
It was usually self-inflicted.
Yeah. Usually just us being disorganized, forgetful people, occasionally here and there, but sometimes it seemed as if forces beyond our reckoning were working against us.
Plus, it was more fun to think that way anyway.
Yeah, that's kind of what we settled on.
So, is this in high school that you would go on road trips?
A little bit towards the end.
Yeah.
Although Gencon was...
Yeah, that was a...
Was it
we
in
must
Ohio?
Have only been...
That was in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, okay.
So yeah, we stayed with my aunt that lives outside of that city.
We must have been 15 or 16.
Yeah.
Because I know that we couldn't drive there. We had to take the Greyhound.
You guys took the Greyhound as high schoolers.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, that was a unique experience. So yeah, we got dropped off at one of the downtown stations here and waited around for our bus to get in and rode that for a couple hours to Indianapolis.
Wow.
Do you remember people you met on the Greyhound?
Oh, we didn't meet anyone.
Oh no, we kept
absolutely not.
We were pretty we were pretty timid of everything going on around us. But
Yeah, a couple of like young white suburban kids on a Greyhound, and it did stop over in Gary.
yeah, that was
The Greyhound stop in Gary is probably one of the sketchiest places I've ever been.
yeah.
Yeah, Gary is
Yeah. Especially
Oh.
then,
right.
literally years ago.
Right.
Oh, about 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah.
And so your parents were cool at the time with
Yeah.
you guys going, and was it just you two, or was there a small group?
It was, but we stayed with Cody's aunt and uncle.
Right.
Yeah. So the first time we went, it was just you and me.
Yeah.
And then years later, we brought Phil came with us that one time. And then
Was that 1 or 2 years? I think that might have just been the next year.
Yeah, perhaps. And then there was 1 year that I went with Jason. I brought him down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a cool gaming convention. So a lot of awesome nerdy shit there.
I would love to get back there. It's just August is such a oof.
Yeah, it's like kind of something you need to like. The whole city like gets like booked up for this convention, so it's like something you need to plan like months in advance. And
Yeah, are there any specific stories that you remember from being at your first Gen Con?
I don't think we really did anything RPG-ish the first time we were there. We just kind of sat down and played some board games.
yeah, like the big like retail hall had like you know, like all the different game companies would have like booths and stuff that you know you could sit down and like they'd show you how to play their new game or whatever. So we would just kind of do that here and there. There was the like the Warlord, that big like dungeon crawl that we
Did we
did.
do that first year?
I feel like
Because we didn't have Phil with us.
We played a handful of them, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we also played BattleTech
Yeah.
for the first time. That was pretty sweet. That was like a mech combat, mech warrior miniature game. That was pretty sweet. But that was a good one.
I remember things outside of the con on that trip too.
Mm.
Like I remember one of the days we got out of the con, we were waiting for your uncle to come pick us up, and a bunch of juggalos drove by in this big van.
Oh yeah.
And were just chucking ICP like burnt CDs at people.
That's great.
That's right.
Which I didn't even know what a juggalo was then, but
Dude, it seemed like some very... I mean, we've been seeing people walking around in all sorts of costumes, like, all over the place. So we're like, I wonder what anime they're from. But
I
it
think
was
that's
not
probably
Velociraptor.
also the first time I ever saw a fursuit.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, we had an ICP CD to listen to. We didn't listen to.
Yeah.
We had it, but we didn't listen to it. We couldn't.
Was that also the year that we tried to swim across the lake that you're in?
No, that was the year after when we had Phil with us, and we did swim across this. So like my aunt and uncle live on like, it's like a lake, but it's like a really like, it's like a channel more so, because it's like really long and not that wide. But you know, boats are up and down on that all the time, and it was like super hot during the day, and we were like out, but it was like hot enough that it like the water was still like pretty warm and cool, like even though it was like the middle of the night. And so we were doing this thing where we'd like be in their hot tub and then like go out into like the cool water and like be switching back and forth. And then someone had the idea to swim across the width of the body of water, which was, I don't know, I'm terrible at estimating distances, but
third of a mile, quarter to third,
perhaps
I would guess.
across, yeah. So that was pretty fun until like we got
Until it wasn't.
Yeah, until we got to like the middle of the thing. We're like, oh, I'm starting to get tired.
What now?
And then they started like talking about sharks, which like started freaking me out, and then that like gave me the encouragement I needed to keep paddling. But we did get across the other end, and we were just hoping that someone didn't mind that we just like hoisted ourselves up onto their dock so that we like could catch our breath and try and not die. But no one was out, and it was super dark, so we were able to rest there for the time that was required, and then we swam across back. And this is all like when my aunt and uncle are asleep. We didn't tell them. And like they would, if anything would have happened, they would have had no idea we were out there. It would have, it could have been bad, but it was. And we probably slept pretty well that night because we were like this.
Oh yeah.
My cousins are older than me, and they played D&D.
Okay.
And so I wasn't allowed to play because I was too young. But whenever we'd go, I would sit in the corner, and they'd be like, if you're quiet, you can play. And their campaigns, in my memory, were just the most amazing things. Like,
it's possible.
Sometimes I'll watch, like, videos of people who do it, and I'm like, they're nowhere near as good as my 5 years old memory of my cousin doing it. He'd do all these voices, there'd be all these politics and things like that, and people stayed in character, and it was, like, really impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know, our sessions are pretty good.
Yeah, it's true. It's cool that hobby is like becoming mainstream enough that like there are multiple like podcasts that you can listen to that are people's campaigns that they're running, or like there's multiple like shows that you can tune in and like watch people sitting around a table and playing with like celebrities and stuff. But I don't know, like there's something absent that like as soon as you put it in front of like a viewing audience that it changes it enough. Like there's nothing that's gonna be like as solid as like, you know, a really close-knit group of friends in like, you know, their secluded gaming room just like, you know, rocking out with their characters and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
really getting into it.
Yeah, with like a story that like everyone has been involved with telling for weeks, months, even years on end, which is like kind of the scope that we are like working with at this point in our careers. And yeah, it's really awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna build Cody up here. He's become an awesome DM.
I've certainly got plenty of hours in it to. I'm glad it's at least getting somewhere, but yeah, it's a very cool, unique like art form that is pretty much my major jam. Like involves a lot of like, you know, storytelling, creative thinking and writing, like the actual like delivery of it, the whole like social aspect of, you know, wrangling 5 different people together with varying real life schedules and trying to get everyone into a room for a couple hours so you can actually play. But I don't know, it's a lot of work, but it's like a lot, definitely worth it, I would say. And it's good.
Well, because
it's good to get positive feedback from my players who are,
I mean,
for the most part, having a lot of fun from what I
exactly. That's just exactly where I was going. If you guys don't know, I don't know if you've ever played D&D or any sort of tabletop, but it's essentially the DM or the GM, whoever's running the game's job, to make sure everyone's having fun.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it's about.
Yeah.
And so, my best example of how Cody's come a long way with this is back in high school we were playing and he was DMing for us.
This is the Aboleth story.
Yeah, it's the Aboleth story. And this was a campaign that Cody and I had like kind of traded off being in that DM role, guiding people through.
So back then we were working with like a very small, like it was us and like one or two
like
other players,
Steve,
and then
Mike.
like 3 other players, and 2 of them were like extremely like not always around pretty much. So we had to work with kind of a smaller group. So yeah, we would just take turns.
This is that night that Cody was DMing. He won D&D.
Yeah.
He beat the party in combat.
Yeah, I went a little overboard with my boss monster and like wiped everyone out, and was like, yes. And I was like, oh wait, that's not the point of this at all. Now we're like all dead, and we have to like come up with dumb reasons for our guys to come back to life so we can keep going.
Yeah.
Whoa, what was the monster?
It's called an aboleth. It's like a Lovecraftian horror, like a big psychic fish.
Okay.
That like, you know,
with extra slime.
Yeah, with like tentacles and stuff, and it like enslaves people's minds and has like it had like a whole town like working for it or something, and like the adventurers wander in and get involved. But yeah, so I just like mind controlled my character, my like human sorcerer that I was playing, and then like between his like spell casting and like the stuff that the aboleth could already do, I like pretty much made short work of the rest of the party. And then in your mind, is that what your plan was? I mean, I was just getting like really competitive because I don't know. It was like this was my first time DMing, and it was like, I don't know. I was still playing it like it's me versus them, and I'm like trying to win this, but that's like the DM is supposed to give everyone a good fight, but ideally they do find victory in the end because that's more fun for everyone to succeed than for everyone to fail.
Yeah.
But luckily Kevin's character was like a cleric, so whatever like weird deity he was worshiping, some like ocean god or something, like just restored everyone to life, and we were all good.
All we had to do was like give them all of our fancy magic weapons. And armor that we probably shouldn't have had anyway.
We were pretty over-equipped for our level at the time. Since then, I've learned a lot about what makes for a fun boss battle, and usually your boss monster getting destroyed is in like a really epic way that is a hard-fought thing is usually the best outcome, so that's kind of what I do now. But yeah.
Are you guys in a campaign together right now?
Yes. Cody is DMing.
Yes, this is my Curse of Strahd campaign. It's been going for
probably coming up on 2 years.
Yeah, I think we're over 2 years. And we might be approaching, like, starting year 3 once we get into the fall. So I think I started the campaign sometime in August.
Okay.
So we might be, like, finishing it. But anyways, yeah, so, like, Jacob's one of my players in that. It's, like, kind of like a Transylvania setting where the adventurers get lured into this shadowy realm with a quest line that's, like, promising, like, a huge payout if they can help the king with his sick daughter, and then it turns out there's no king, there's no sick daughter, and
just brutality.
Yeah, so like a vampire lord is like sitting at the top of the castle, reigning over this realm, and he just is bored and invites adventurers into his realm for him to toy with and eventually destroy. So
yeah, and Cody made it clear at the beginning of the campaign: if you die, you're dead.
Yeah,
there's no takesy backsies. There's no going easy. What the dice do, the dice do.
Yeah. And
has anybody died yet?
Oh yeah, we've had 3 deaths.
Yeah, we've had a couple. Yeah. But sometimes those deaths coincide with like players like moving to Arizona and like leaving the campaign in a significant way.
Yeah.
So that was like at least one of them. But there's really only been.
I didn't even think about those.
Yeah, but there's been like 2 in combat. I didn't intend for anyone to die, but that's just what occurred.
It was one that happened on like the 3rd session.
Yeah, the first night that they were like, oh, let's camp out in the woods. It'll be fine. We'll set up watch order. And then like they learned that there are werewolves in the woods of Barovia. And werewolves are like immune to basically everything except for like silvered weapons and magic, which they were a little low on at the time at that level. So the werewolves did a number on them. But also Ben was literally falling asleep at the table and was not playing his wizard correctly and had the skills and spells available to save himself. And so he just like wasn't playing his character optimally, and he wasn't able to get away like the rest of the party was. And the werewolves, like, I essentially sacrificed his character so the rest of the party could get away.
Yeah.
So they just surrounded him and just like kind of tore into his poor elf wizard, and yeah, he died from that. but yeah, that didn't stop him from continuing on. We essentially how it works is that like you have to basically take on the role of like an NPC that's been befriended along the way, and hopefully they have some useful talents to contribute.
And if you're not aware, an NPC is like a
non-player character.
Literally somebody that the DM, in this case Cody, is like playing the role of, but may not be central to the campaign.
Right. Just like all of the filler characters, essentially.
I don't know. I feel like we could go on about D&D exploits forever.
Yeah.
I'm medium into it.
Yeah.
I think that how you handle death is an interesting thing.
If a character is to die, it
should be
it's better. It's better. Yeah, it is better if there is meaning for it. It's like not that great when it's
or
just.
Or if it's just really cool.
If it just like randomly happens against like scrubby enemies that are just like, literally just like the result of a die roll that I did to see who they ran into on the road or something, then it's like not quite as epic as if like the vampire lord himself like cuts them down with his like doom blade or whatever.
Yeah.
But making like a set piece out of it is what I usually try and do if I've like just decided like, okay, someone needs to die here and here's why. But usually that's like not really the case. I had the opportunity to do that with Kevin's character because he was moving to Arizona and was like also playing a cleric of life that the vampire lord was definitely not down with, so he had to take care of that one. But,
have you had any ridiculously bad D&D experiences? Like, have you ever been with a DM who's horrible?
Yes. When I started playing D&D for the first time in college, like it was Marilyn who was like, "Oh, we've got a D&D group. Do you want to join, Cody?" I'm like, yeah, because I'd been going like, it was like my freshman year at UIC, and so like I was not expecting D&D to be like something that like the college kids are doing, honestly. But so I got into a group with them and met a bunch of cool people, and that was like a really solid group, and we had a couple different campaigns that turned out of there. But there was a player that we picked up along the way that like we all kind of came to the realization that like none of us really liked, and so we had kind of like an awkward like how do we like disentangle this guy from us, because we're just like one of our the person that invited him was like too nice to tell him like no when he should have, and then it just like kept going and it just kept, and so essentially we ended up like sacrificing the campaign to rid ourselves of this player.
Wow.
Because he just like the character he made and played was like just like super generic. He like just wasn't funny and made really creepy like not funny jokes, and it was just we just ended up not really liking him a whole lot. But that's probably like the worst it's really gotten, and that was. Even then, like not even that bad, but
that's just like we slightly didn't click with this guy.
There's been time when Ben ran a campaign, he was running it out of a pre-written one out of a book, and he kind of didn't. He quickly discovered that was like not really his style of running things, because he's like dyslexic, so like reading is like not reading on the fly is like not really something that's super easy for him to do, and so there was like a lot of like really awkward like pauses, and like he'd be reading is like, and then the elf ranger says her name is Shalali. I'm gonna just name her Leia. And it's just because like he couldn't like pronounce the name that was given to her.
Right.
And then like that was also like a campaign that had been out for a while, and so like I was kind of aware of it, and so like I just from my own being involved with what's out in terms of published content was like essentially knew more about the campaign than he himself was running, and I was just like a player under him, and so I was like, Ben, aren't we supposed to find like some sort of amulet on this person as well? I was like, oh yeah, that's right. And then in her pocket you find it's an amulet with a strange rune on it. It's like, yeah, that's just the thing that's like the major clue to the whole like bad guys operation. But yeah, you might want to throw that to us too, Ben. So yeah, that was probably that's like the weakest DM I've ever played under. But that was also like his first foray into it, and it's like a tough thing, and it's like
it takes time.
It's easy to criticize someone because I just have a lot of experience with it and a lot
hundreds
of,
and hundreds,
a lot of
1,000+ hours.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's usually things don't really. If like a bad thing is going to happen in a campaign setting in terms of like the social dynamic, it usually reveals itself like very early on, and it doesn't like spiral into like a huge problem. Usually the campaign will like fizzle before it gets to that point, but you know, anytime you're dealing with a small group of people, there's going to be some friction and clashes here and there.
I think the worst one I had to deal with, also at college with a completely separate group, was my girlfriend plays D&D. Okay, Ashley, what do you play? Oh, I play a level 64 Dark Elf. That's not a thing. That's not a level that you usually get to, and by usually it's like they only have rules really written for 20 and like kind of written up to 30, and then also it's I don't believe you. So she was just kind of a complete pain in the ass for the couple of sessions we played, and then she decided she didn't like it and then stopped showing up with her boyfriend, so that was just a win-win for everyone. Yeah, that was part of the sessions that we called D&D and D, Dungeons and Dragons and Drinking, because it was with a bunch of my frat brothers.
Yeah.
So that was like my way to lure them into the nerd's world.
Right.
It's like, we're just gonna get hammered and then use our imagination.
It's an elaborate drinking game.
So you guys went to different colleges, or did you guys both go to UIC?
He went to Champaign.
Okay.
Yeah. We both went to universities of Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was down in Champaign and I was in Chicago.
Did you guys have any campaigns together while you guys were in different colleges?
No.
Yeah, that would have been hard to manage.
Yeah. When everyone was like coming home coming home back to the burbs like for the summer, I think that's when I had like my Elnor campaign going.
Yeah, we tried a couple of
sessions. But it was kind of tough and was a lot less regular than what we have going on now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in high school, I was like, I can't wait to get to college. I'm gonna play D&D 24/7. It's all I'm gonna do. And then I played with this one group in college, and I was just like, these kids are too nerdy for me. I like can't like this is another level, and I can't deal. And then I was like, there's a huge group at OSU's campus. I'm gonna go down to OSU, and they would like. It's really easy to set up. You just tell them that you're gonna start a group, and they give you like $1,000 or something ridiculous.
What?
At OSU, anybody can be a group. You immediately Ohio State.
What would you use $1,000 for?
What couldn't you use $1,000 on? Miniatures, set dressing, books.
Yeah. It was like really ridiculous.
Costumes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
We usually ask if your friendship has affected other relationships in your life, family, other friendships, romantic relationships, but it sounds like you guys have created quite a ripple effect amongst your friends.
Yeah, I would say
our parents hang out.
Yeah, that's true.
Our dads go golfing every so often.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cody, your dad accidentally texts me every couple of months thinking I'm my dad. Like,
Oh,
hey
serious?
Bob, want to hit the links today?
This is news to me. I'm not aware of this.
Yeah.
It doesn't really surprise me, but
That's funny.
that's cool. My dad does like to golf, and that's very awesome.
Yeah, and my dad retired
Yeah.
probably about year to year and a half ago, so all the time in the world.
Yeah, Jacob's parents throw like an annual like big Halloween party that a bunch of family friends come to, and so like everyone dresses up for that, and so my parents have that's like their one of the Halloween parties that they go to, and they've done that for past couple of years for sure.
Probably like 8 years or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Jacob's dad has a band, DuPage, and they do shows at venues here and there, so my parents will go out and see them and get out on the dance floor. And
Did they meet through you?
yeah, definitely. But
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I was like hanging out. I mean, like both of us were like pretty much regular fixtures in each other's homes during the time that we were in school together.
Yeah, mostly your house because you had a basement.
Yeah, mine was kind of the hangout spot. But
Close enough from school that we could walk there afterwards.
Yeah. But and so I would like go on like family vacation with the Kunzes over here, and they'd be along for the ride
And vice versa,
hanging
too.
out.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Do you remember in Cancun?
Yeah, we went down to Cancun together.
Oh, wow.
Well, with my parents, because they got suckered into buying some sort of timeshare-esque thing because the guy mentioned the two magic words to my dad, free golf. And so that had him like hook, line, and sinker. But yeah, we got to go to Cancun for a couple times and stay at like some all-inclusive type dealio. That was pretty nice. Of course, we were like underage at the time, so like we didn't
And even under like Mexican.
Yeah, exactly. So like we didn't really get to truly live it up down there with the pina coladas and margaritas and whatnot.
But we did overflow the like whirlpool bathtub with bubbles.
Oh yeah.
With bubbles?
We used all of the bubble bath.
Nice.
And
We even like I think saved it up over the course of several days.
it was, we were like, oh, it'll be awesome if we just put like a bunch of these little bottles of bubble bath in the hot tub that's in the room. And
It wasn't totally a problem. It was more awesome than a problem.
yeah, but we did have an absurd amount of bubbles that were like 6 feet above the surface of the water practically, and like overflowing, and we had to like open the balcony window and kind of shoo some out because it was just like getting to be a lot. But yeah, that was a pretty sweet adventure. We like made those the like staff like get us room service like at really annoying hours late at night.
Oh yeah.
But the kitchen's open, so at least it was something for them to do, I guess.
And they got tipped.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go.
But yeah, that was a pretty sweet adventure. Another cool one was when I came along with their family vacation to North Carolina. Stayed at like a beachfront condo type deal. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Do you have brothers or sisters?
I do not.
I have a little sister that I guess you didn't know me before Natasha was adopted.
Correct.
I guess I've always had a sister, yeah.
Yes.
But yes, I have a little sister.
Do you get along with her?
She like doesn't really involve herself in our affairs.
Yeah, she has completely different interests than us.
Yeah.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, I don't really talk to her a whole bunch beyond, like, family-related things.
Yeah.
What is that? It's
giving her unwarranted advice.
It's like a significant...
Giving her unwarranted.
Yeah, she's 8 years younger.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
Like, she
a whole different
just
world.
graduated high school. Yeah. It's like having that older cousin, I kind of imagine.
Yeah.
Like you were saying. I don't know what the age difference there is, but... I mean, all of my cousins are older.
Yeah, same here. All of mine are at least a decade older than me.
Some of them are like that, and then some... I don't know. My closest brother is 15 years older than me, and so it has to be a big gap for me to be like, that person's an adult.
Yeah, I have a younger sister, and she is 11 years younger than I am. So she's a child. She's legitimately considered a child. And it's interesting because I think she thinks of me as an adult, and I still don't think of myself as an adult. Yeah.
I had that discussion with my older brother like a month ago, where we were just talking about life and stuff, and I was like, the other day I had done something ridiculous and somebody's really upset with me, and I was like, how can you be upset with me? I'm just a kid. And then I was like, wait a second, in your eyes I'm an adult. You should be upset. My behavior was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's how I feel with my younger sister. I feel partially responsible. Like, I feel like I have to be an adult to her because I don't want her to think that my stupidity is, like, okay.
Right.
Because I don't think it's okay.
You can't be like this forever.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that's an American, it's her right. She gets to be...
She can do...
If
she wants to become president, she can become president. She can do whatever she wants.
My cousins have kids. So, I don't know if I'm trying to remember whether I'm like...
closer in age to the kids or to them.
Well, no, but like great cousin or...
what it's called.
Uncle or cousin uncle.
I think they're like...
I don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't remember what they call me.
Yeah, I think since like Jacob was pretty much like rocking the only child lifestyle for the
13 years.
Yeah, up at the majority of his years at the time that I met him. Like, I feel like that's kind of like why we were on such like similar wavelengths in terms of like just kind of being like, you know, indoor kids that like intellectually stimulating pursuits. And by that I mean video games.
right.
In a way.
Among other things, of course. But, yeah. I feel like that's got a lot to do with why we get along so well.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a fight that was so bad that you thought, like, oh, this friendship might be over?
I don't think so.
No. There's not a whole lot of, like
conflict
source, like, yeah, they're...
Because board games really upset me sometimes.
Yeah, I, like, that,
Yeah, but that's, like, that doesn't even hardly count.
Yeah, no, we can get, like, heated over in, like, competitive ways here and there, but, like, not to the point that it ever, like, goes beyond
over that
the
thing.
game. Yeah, that would...
Absolutely.
Yeah, me wiping out the party with that aboleth might have been the closest, because I remembered we were like throwing stuff at each other in like defiance of our roles and stuff here and there. But yeah, no, there's we've never really been like harshly divided on a topic.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of a single time like we've been at each other's throats.
Yeah, no.
You kind of both seem so laid back to me.
That's
that you. I don't know if you've had that experience.
Yeah. And there was one friend I didn't talk to for a couple of months because he sucker punched me in the face at a party.
Is this a frat friend?
No. It's a mutual friend.
All right.
I guess he can remain unnamed.
Sure.
He's been named for another anecdote in this discussion.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
but yes.
Well, for what purpose?
Oh, he was mad at me because I didn't want to not buy a new car as I was moving down to the city. He thought that I should definitely just be bike-centric.
So he punched you over it?
I guess. There was more feeling behind it that he explained later. That there were like things he was hung up on, I guess. But
yes.
Yeah, the straw that broke the camel's back was that I wasn't gonna be a pure public transit bike person with a dog.
Yeah.
Working in the suburbs.
Yeah. A bike plan didn't make sense at all for you to do.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Sometimes our friends get like a little rowdy, and they like. There has been times when there's been like mutually agreed upon like
many times
clashes of
the old drunken fisticuffs.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
You want to just go out to the yard?
But like,
That's
usually
funny.
when it does occur, it's because it's like amongst people that are like, they all know what they're signing up for and they're like all down for it. But this was kind of like a situation where like
it was a sucker punch.
Jacob just got like blasted out of nowhere. So yeah, that was. I guess I didn't realize that you weren't talking to him for so long, but I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess not that I wasn't talking to him, like it wasn't that I was refusing contact.
Yeah.
I just wasn't like reaching out to him and chatting with him on the regular.
Yeah.
No, that's I mean, punching people is ridiculous. And that is a ridiculous straw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Alright.
But yeah, no, I've never sucker punched Cody, and
Yeah, no, we don't. Jacob knows I'm a delicate flower. Easily bruised, so I'm not in on their brawls that they do when the cups are flowing. Feeling like this friendship's probably gonna be a lifelong lasting one. I mean, we've made it this far. I feel like it would take like one,
why not?
It would probably take one of us like moving out of the country to like put a serious like dent in it.
Yeah.
Or like on the other side of the states or something. But like even then, I mean, we've got a buddy in Oregon that we speak to regularly just because we're all on the same like headset channel when we're playing computer games on a pretty regular basis. So
Yeah, I think
we stay in touch despite our spreaded state.
That's something my parents point out all the time. They're like, I wish we had this kind of technology because I would have stayed in touch with so many people.
Yeah.
Like they're like, it's like even between my brothers and sister who are way older than me, it's a big difference in like,
Yeah.
they didn't have chat IM programs, so they didn't stay in contact. And even if they did like Facebook friend these old people,
it's just different.
It's just different.
Yeah.
But if you stay in touch with them, even just the little like pinging once a month or whatever.
Yeah. Some sort of checking out what you're up to.
Yeah, I think it's way easier now.
One of my absolutely my first good friend, we were talking about him earlier, he moved to Phoenix, and I hopped on Facebook earlier this week, and Facebook was in my Facebook like, hey, look, Jake and Kevin have been friends for 10 years. And I'm like, nah, Facebook, you don't even know.
Yeah.
Double that, bro.
Yeah.
Double that. But we don't really keep in touch all that much.
Yeah.
That's that sort of friendship where it's just...
Kevin's also engaged, which maybe has a little bit of something to
I don't really think so. I mean, when we were off at college, we would only talk every 3-4 months.
Yeah. Yeah, some friendships are like that. Like, it's like you don't have to constantly see each other.
Yeah, I mean, we'll ping each other with like, hey, have you heard this band? Or, yo, have you played this game? Yeah. And we'll like have a good chat going that day, and then like, all right, cool. Yeah. Talk to you next time that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have general thoughts about, like, what friendship, what defines friendship? And you can say that's too broad.
Not being opposed to each other's presence.
Yeah.
I think
that's a very laid back answer.
And then the occasional seeking out, just hanging out.
Yeah.
You're friends with the people you want to be friends with.
Yeah, I think choice is the defining aspect of the friend relationship, because
I think that's
like
interesting.
Because it's like you choose who your friends are, like you choose like who you want to communicate with, and like, you know, formulate plans with, and arrange times when you're existing in the same room together. Like, it's not like family who you're like, oh, these are like your blood relatives. You're stuck. This is who you got.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, coworkers like, oh, these are the people working alongside you. This is what you got. But like a friend is like, you know, this is someone that you have used your time to build a bond with, and like you enjoy whatever it is that they are about and and you just like rock that out, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's the saying that friends are the family that you choose.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, for our friend group, I'm behind that 100%, especially with the kind of family aspect to it.
Sure.
There's just so much of us. When
Yeah.
we have our get-togethers, which, I mean, unfortunately with adult life, are less and less frequent, but you know, we still hit holidays and stuff. Mm-hmm. Sometimes there's some people gone, but it's like family getting together again.
Yeah.
That's nice.
But without the
But without the obligation of its family, and maybe you don't really want to be there.
Yeah.
And there's maybe people you don't really want to talk to.
Yeah, I think that's kind of, to me, my friends have always felt like a stronger bond to me than like family members. Like I'm close with my parents because I'm like an only child, but like my extended family lives out of state, like to every last one of them. So like, you know, I see my friends much more than I do see like, you know, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, their kids, whatever. So just like by sheer amount of time spent with, like, friends kind of come out on top for me especially. And yeah, I mean, like being an only child without like brothers and sisters, like I've kind of always had to learn how to like either be fine with entertaining myself or like, you know, making a friend to spend time with. So I've always had like not like a ton of friends, but like a smaller number of like really close-knit friends, and Jacob's definitely one of them, and we've got a decent cast between the two of us.
Yeah, it's actually pretty incredible, that like end of high school super group.
Yeah, we
had a solid like dozen good friends.
Yeah. And yeah, the relationships have, despite geographical distances and different work schedules and everything like that, we manage to still be in contact with each other regularly and like, you know, talk with one another on like a daily basis because we're all in a group chat on a
I was just thinking that also because it's flashing its light at me.
Yeah. It's going right now.
We probably have 16 people in there.
Is it up to that many?
Probably.
Yeah, it's possible.
I mean, there's people that don't talk all that much, but
yeah.
Is that on a GChat thread, or is it like a Discord thing?
ooh, gonna plug the Wire here. It's a peer-to-peer encrypted chat.
All right.
Based in Switzerland, who are well known for not, sending off chat logs because some foreign government asks them.
Nice.
Our hacker friend kind of got us all into this.
Yeah. Because he's all about like maintaining privacy to the max, no matter what, and just like he's just like super paranoid about what like future dystopian people in power might be able to dig up from the digital archive and like
and he's not wrong.
Bring against people like in 2014 you said this in a chat message and now that's against the law and you're under arrest. So like
ex post facto.
Yeah. Sometimes it feels that way. You read an article and it's about some tweet some guy did in 2008.
And now he's being held accountable for it. And he's like, I'm different now, but no one on Twitter cares.
Nobody on Twitter cares.
Yeah, so the Wire is what we use for our communications, and
plus there's a pretty cool GIF search engine.
Yeah, it's got the dumb extra features, so post pictures and draw on them and all those kind of things. So we have fun with that as well. And then we also have we use Discord here and there, but Mumble is like the audio program on the computer that we do for our like gaming and stuff. So
gaming in general.
Again, our hacker friend has like a server that he hosts that we all just like log on to. That's what we talk to one another instead of like calling each other on the phone. We just like wait till the next time they're on that.
Which is usually like whatever night it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's usually somebody online.
Yeah.
Okay, bam. We finished the show.
You finished the show.
And now what do? You're like, clearly...
You keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clearly you have nothing better to do. So just listen to the next show.
Oof.
If you made it through a full one. Oh, and then number 2, if you listen to the first show, we were like, we're super accessible.
Yeah.
You can email us and talk to us.
All of that is in the footnotes of each episode.
But I want to like raise the stakes.
Okay.
And be like, definitely email me. If you made it through this show.
I want you to email me.
Yeah, just like do it. Like it's not like okay, you could do this.
No, do it.
This.
Yeah.
Do this thing.
Please do it.
Literally.
Yeah, we'd be so happy.
Yeah. I have so many friends. I have a couple friends who do podcasts, and then they're like, 100 thousands of people listen. I have no feedback. It's fucking. I want 2 people to listen and just send me feedback, and then I'll feel good about myself.
Great. Okay. Well, if you're gonna be one of those 2 people, we're looking forward
to getting your email.
Yes. Okay. Great. Catch you in the next one.
Yeah. Thanks.